Frosthaven Update 88 is pretty big because we get to see some really cool stuff, but also Isaac gives us an update on the timeline of when we'll actually be able to get to play Frosthaven. So he says he's currently still sticking to the 2022 Q1, which hopefully we should all have it by then. But in the meantime, just because there have been a few delays, they've been able to finalize some things, like even updating some balance issues and some cards. So even like the starter classes are a little bit different than what was previewed, and I really think it's going to be a great product. But that's not even the amazing thing. The amazing thing is finally we're showing off the flowchart and just being able to see all of the new how we're going to be connecting all of the scenarios in Frosthaven. So what does the flowchart even mean? It actually just shows how all the scenarios are connected together. There were several times in Gloomhaven where we're like, oh no, we're at this little point where we can do this or this. What happens? And sometimes we would go off and like, hey dude, we saw some like cultists over here. Like, let's explore that. And we came back and we were like, we couldn't figure out if this is like a bit of finality, like is one gonna lock out the other, or like we would explore, do a bunch of side scenarios, come back, and we kind of forgot where it all linked together. So now we have a much better way to view it. If you can look at this, so you can see that there's a lot of not only but colored but directional indicators to say you came from this path, and then it opens up this, and then this is, you know, you kind of have a better way to track yourself as you go through the Frosthaven campaign. Another thing that you can see here, if you look at this image, you can see Howling in the snow. This is added because, if you aren't aware, Frosthaven starters are a little bit more complicated than Gloomhaven, and overall there's a lot of just a little bit more rules in Frosthaven to make it a little bit more difficult. So for people just getting into Gloomhaven, we have Howling in the Snow, so you don't just like beat your head against Black Barrow repeatedly. And Town in Flames, I already think is harder than Black Barrow and the Barrow Den from Gloomhaven. So having one scenario to get people used to the rules first, before they go into Town in Flames, I think is a really great idea. I've known about this for a while, but didn't want to mention it just in case, you know, non-disclosure agreement. But now that it's there, it's a scaled down thing that kind of walks you through. It's not quite Jaws of the Lion, you know, you don't have like the A or the B cards or anything, but it's enough that it's a little softer thing to get you into Frosthaven if you feel like you need a tutorial, which for most veterans means that the scenario isn't necessary. Not only that, but if you look, the icon key shows you if it's an introduction or part of whatever thing, like the Algox. You can see that they've got 3 different colors of blue. And the reason why there's 3 different colors you'll see later, but also there'll be unfettered and lurker scenarios as well. And you can kind of see how they unlock it, like even, or like personal quests, which there will still be some personal quests that will unlock more scenarios in Frosthaven, just as they kind of did in like Gloomhaven. And then you can see how they interact, like some of them are linked, some of them are like, and you can actually see when you're about to do a boss scenario before you jump into it, which I think is actually really cool, because a lot of times when we got to boss scenarios for Gloomhaven, we had like a little bit of hype when we got there, but we didn't know, sometimes we didn't know if we were doing a boss scenario or not. And like we are like, I think this is one, but sometimes just knowing it, seeing the icon there, knowing like, hey, next week we're gonna be doing this. And just being able to get in that mindset, I think adds a lot in itself, in addition to the fact that all the other iconography makes this so much easier to navigate. I especially like the fact that there's like, for those of you who haven't been following, like, you know, the Lurker poll, there's one that says, requires 6 shards of the Lurker crown to continue. Like, just not only seeing that goes like, what's the Lurker crown? It just gives you that little feeling of, what's that? And just adding just a little bit of hints in it. Like, it's not like, this isn't gonna be like collecting 1,000 shards of Baron Zaya, which, I mean, come on. How many people have actually done that? I didn't think so. But also you can see there's some things that need to be built or made. I'm not gonna go into exactly what those translate into, but if you see those, like the ship or the sled, you can clearly see that some scenarios just can't be done until you have a certain thing. Is that an achievement? Is that an item? You'll find out. Also, you can see if something is required for the puzzle book or unlocks a puzzle book. So this is kind of nice because some people were, you know, you opened up the X envelope in Gloomhaven, and some people were like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. I don't know where this is. Are we getting feedback? Are we getting any closer? And this puzzle book is so much better. And not only that, but you at least know whether you're close to getting something from it, or you just have some hints that give you some guidance. So if you're stuck or not good at ciphers, there's a little bit more hand holding this time. At the very least, you can get some feedback if you've done it wrong. There's a little bit of feedback if you aren't making progress. And now some people still maybe get a little stuck, but this puzzle is a lot easier. We did have one member on our team who actually helped solve the X puzzle without any help on our side, go through some of the Frosthaven puzzle for testing, and he was supposed to have more of the parts, and he was actually able to solve stuff without some of the, with missing information. So if he can solve it without everything, like, I think a lot of the other people will be, actually, that's a terrible thing. Him being able to solve puzzles is a terrible basis. I should not compare it to him. But we were able to get through it with I'd say less effort than the X. So if you struggled with that, give this puzzle book a shot, because it is super fun, and you get some really cool rewards from it too, which I'll not talk about, but you'll find out. So you get the flowcharts, just a punch-out board, which, if you are familiar with the alchemy thing, you have the alchemy to discover things are also punch-out boards. So there's going to be a little bit more discovery through, like, here you've got a thing, punch it out, and it's like, what did this unlock? So Frosthaven has a lot more of that mechanic, which is cool, because just having some of those surprises and, like, I don't know how this happens, or let's just guess, you get a little bit of trial and error. And the cool part is it's permanent though, so it's not like, well, we tried this and you have to keep memorizing or keep guessing. Once you've unlocked a recipe, you clearly know what you need to make it for the rest of the thing. And once you've unlocked the part of the map, you know where things branch after they actually give you indicators of where it will go. So you're never really doing anything truly blindly, or if you have done something with it just a guess, you have information after the fact. And that, giving you that, like, sense of progress is just, it's not only so much better, and being able to see how much of it that you've uncovered, I think just having that feedback and knowing it just makes it a lot better. And it's improving upon some of the mechanics we already had in Gloomhaven, while still giving, like, a little bit more sense of exploration and discovery. So are you excited about the flowcharts? I know I am, but I love flowcharts anyway. So I'm really excited about this and all the other stuff that's coming out. And I want to give a thank out to all the Gloomhaven content, custom content, Unity Guild. You guys are amazing. And the spotlight for that should be coming out soon. I'll be posting at least 3 videos highlighting some of the cool classes, and not only that, but some of the classes feature cool scenarios, so we'll be just talking about those a little bit, obviously not doing spoilers, because hey, we don't want to spoil a scenario if we haven't done it yet, but everyone should take a look at some of these. If you don't know about the custom content Unity Guild, or haven't seen that wonderful bit of art Alexander did, we'll be putting those in the description. So everyone, you're all amazing. Patrons, Inox patrons, thank all of you. You really help support this channel. It's amazing, and you're all so awesome. And all of you who watch, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, and thank all of you for watching.